So we always talk about just in the football world, who's a truck and who's a trailer. And what you mean by truck, who can carry a team? Or do this guy need a supporting cast around him? Right now, Kenny Pickett, in my mind, he's on the verge of going from a trailer to a truck. So I think Kenny Pickett, at first he was a trailer, but he's moving into a truck. You want to talk about Pat Fairmouth at the tight end position? He's definitely a truck. He can block and he can catch. You want to talk about George Pickens as a rookie, regardless he's not playing or don't act and have the confidence better than any other rookie I know, especially coming to the NFL. He's a truck. You want to talk about Najee, who will probably get the torch passed to him as a leader. He's a truck. So you got enough trucks on the offensive side, or you got a guy at the main position, which is the quarterback position, transitioning over from that trailer to a truck. So, yeah, they got enough trucks on the offensive side. They just so happen to be super young, which is a good problem for the organization and Coach T.
I'm glad Kenny Pickett got as much experience as he did this season, Ike, because you look at the division, Joe Burrow's not going anywhere. We're going to see Lamar get paid this offseason. Mm-hmm. Who knows about Watson in the division? He didn't look very good, but maybe he could rekindle what we saw several years ago in terms of his on-field ability as a dynamic playmaker at the quarterback position. And again, right. All 7 AFC playoff teams, first-round quarterbacks. So you see the talent. And Pickett was the only first-rounder this year. And I look across the league. It wasn't Malik Willis starting for the Titans in the final 2 weeks of the season. It was Josh Dobbs. Desmond Ridder got a little bit of experience in Atlanta. But then, okay, the 2023 quarterback class is supposed to be, whether it's Stroud, whether it's Bryce Young, the kid from Kentucky, what have you, Ike. Kenny Pickett now has almost a full season of starting experience, and we saw him get better and better each week. Not always linear, not always, okay, he was better from 1 week to next, but on the back half of the year compared to when he began starting in week 4, I thought he was much better. And he gets that experience now in a season where there weren't a lot of young rookie quarterbacks getting game experience this season, Ike. And so when the Steelers picked at 20 a year ago, he was there, they had to take him. Because the Steelers now have the 18th pick. And is that blue chip quarterback going to be there, whether it's one of those 3 guys that I mentioned or someone else coming out in this year's draft? And the answer that I would have is probably not. When the Steelers pick at, 17 this year, that pick of a blue chip stud first-round quarterback is not going to be there, Ike.
Well, first of all, the situation got to be real good, or you got to be an outstanding quarterback. And you can't have any ceiling when it comes to the top 5 pick. And yeah, I think just traditionally we always say with these bad teams, you need a quarterback in the first round. And I don't think that's the answer, and that's the case for every scenario. I think if you get your offensive line, and I think if you get you a tight end, there's nothing wrong with getting a quarterback in the second or third round. If I'm a quarterback and I know I'm about to go high, I really don't want to go high. I want to go mid-round to the bottom because I want to go to a team who's on the verge of making the playoffs. If I'm mid-round in the first round, and definitely I'm going to, if I get drafted late, I'm going to a team who probably made the playoffs. So if I'm a quarterback, man, I just don't want to throw my career unless I have a general manager or a head coach who's all in building their team around me. Something like a Josh Allen, something like a Joe Burrow. But other than that, man, you got somebody like, I look at Kenny Pickett, he's right in between. I'm just talking about his style. He's right in between the Joe Burrow. He's not as cool and calm and collective in the pocket as Joe. That's just Joe's personality. But you look at Justin Herbert, he's athletic enough just like him. He just don't have his height. So when you look at Kenny Pickett, I think, yes, you did find the answer. When it comes down to drafting quarterbacks in the first round, high in the first round, you got to be a sensational quarterback. You got to be a generational talent. You got to be somebody who a team can build around, but you got to find and have that right general manager to understand and to know how to build around that quarterback. So, yeah, if I'm a quarterback coming out, it sounds good when it comes down to the money part, but I'm always looking at it.
Yeah, and Omar Khan getting Pickett with the 20th overall pick as well.
Back in. So if I'm a quarterback, I'm listening.
Sorry, I was saying Omar Khan with the 20th pick a year ago when they got Pickett. To me, now you can build around him on a rookie deal to where year 2, 3, 4, and 5, you're going to pick up his 5th-year option. The way that it's looking like right now, it's really promising if you're the Steelers. And if you can go 9-8 with a really young team, what could it be for 2023 and beyond, to where you get back in contention of not just winning your division, but to say, this team's a real contender in the AFC. Those are the stakes right now. And personally, that really excites me, considering how this team finished the season.
Yeah, I mean, I still got 4 years to play with from the Pittsburgh Steelers when they want to come down to that quarterback situation. So I can really build around them. You know, right now I can just go into the draft and just go off for the best available instead of a need because of Kenny Pickett. You know, so when you're in different, if Pittsburgh would have finished the way they was looking in the beginning of the season, man, I had to go on the need coming down to this draft because Pittsburgh would have had a high draft pick. But to finish how they finished 9-8, and you're like mid first round, that's a good situation. So I'm definitely going on best available in my mind for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And really, that's the only way you want to draft. You always want to draft best available. And why? If somebody asks me, it's because, man, we win the football games. If I go off a need, that means I'm losing. People get fired, people go home early, and nobody likes that losing feeling, especially in the city of Pittsburgh. So, yeah, Kenny Pickett is the answer. Just to answer all your questions, you definitely have a franchise quarterback in Kenny Pickett.